welcome to another Couch Talk episode. Your host, Uncle AK. As you can see, I got a whole gang in the building. Gang. I'm gonna start all the way far to my far left. That's Azeez. You guys, know him from our first Couch Talk. Hey, that's my pastor right there. But hey, give it to yourself. The lovely Maneh, lovely Vanessa, lovely Nancy, Sir Charles. Get it right, Sir Charles. The lovely Ma, lovely Ebot. DeejayBarack in the house.
But I'm not lovely.
Nah. You. And of course, the lovely Nhimba. She's from Zambia.
Finally got it right.
Yeah. Azeez from Nigeria, by the way, because a lot of people want diversity, so I'm just pointing it out. And then Sir Charles is from Sierra Leone. And the rest, though, 237. Gang. But anyways, hey, I'm gonna do this way. Y'all not ready for this, man. Y'all not ready for this.
Give us the pepper.
So, I recently posted this little clip on my IG story. I don't know if most of you watched it, but...
Which one?
This girl, she came and said, 4 things men need to know during, during sexual intercourse. And one of them was, just don't pull out your shaft after 2 seconds. Ease your way through the process.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was no roughness. Women like it slow.
What?
That's what she said.
Okay. Which one?
The third one was just don't catch her head and be going down there. Like, let me want to do it for myself. That's what she said again. And then the last one, I can't remember the last one. The last one was no unnecessary roughness. Like, ask if you want to be rough.
Oh.
What's unnecessary roughness? Like smacking?
That's a good question.
Choking? Choking?
Yeah,
Smacking?
Pulling?
So my issue is now, right? So my issue is, for those who, are currently, having sexual intercourse, is there?
All of you are holy! Holy!
Is
Hold on. Is there a set rule to this game, though? Like, is there a set rule to it?
No. Maybe she's
whatever you like, whatever you don't like,
Very personal.
But consent is very important. So yes, it is good to ask prior to make sure that that's something.
Yeah.
What are you okay with? What are you not okay with? What level of physicality? Yeah. What level of aggressiveness are you okay with? What level of aggressiveness are you not okay with?
But
let me ask you a question.
It's not premeditated.
No, I think it's important to ask because you don't know the trauma people have
been through.
Okay. So you holding my neck and choking me and doing something will make me think of you're raping me. You don't know if I was raped before. So it's very important to ask
those questions.
What if you've never tried it and you like it?
That's probably
let me. So you guys are saying have a conversation prior to like the whole thing. Okay. Let's say that you guys just kind of meet, people just have like those quick one-night stands or whatever. You guys just meet, the feeling's hot, you guys go ahead and do it. What are you saying that, before while he's taking off your clothes, he should be like, first, do you want me to choke you? So you guys didn't even have a conversation before this happened? Like, y'all didn't girls go to
Come on now, y'all know these things happen. One-night stands happen.
Whoever had a one-night stand?
There's girls who go to the club.
Whoever had a one-night stand?
No, let's be honest. There's people who go to the club. They meet at the club. They kiss each other. They do whatever. They go in the car, the hotel. Realistically, we're hoping that you guys have at least had some kind of time to get to know each other. Let's just, God forbid, please. But if you are having a one-night stand, I do think it's still important to vocalize what you want and what you don't.
Exactly.
What reality?
During the process.
So that's what I'm saying. So
during the process, so if he's
unzipping your dress,
if he's
unzipping
your
your
dress,
can I choke?
Whenever you feel comfortable. Why y'all acting like sex is really that's
and
it's not by the book.
No,
when you're
no.
zipping.
That's when you feel comfortable, it doesn't have to. I mean, obviously, when you're in the moment, you may not be thinking about all that. But when you get to a point where you're comfortable to be like, hey, look, like these are my do's and don'ts.
That's usually after you're done.
No. Even can I
feel like if you feel like the guy's coming, you can easily just pull his hands away.
That's a way.
We can whisper like, just do something.
That's a way.
But I don't think it has like a whole conversation before.
No,
because sex
not
happens
necessarily.
differently.
Conversations,
Not
like
full blown conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's what y'all meant.
Nah.
I mean, it's important to have a conversation prior to doing anything with somebody. But I'm saying that if in case you have a one night stand, I think
in case
because not everybody indulges in things like that.
Yeah, I don't.
So
are you sure?
Very much so positive.
But I was speaking.
The definition of a one night stand means you just met a random
Right,
person.
exactly.
It
It happened.
And it's never happened for me.
So people don't even remember one night stands.
Then the
Wow,
crazy.
that's a problem.
It was that good.
No.
No, it's not. If you don't
If it was
remember,
that good, you will remember.
No.
Yeah.
This guy.
But in all
Is you going back for
seriousness,
seconds?
there are ways to
Probably.
What's happening?
Like what
All
happened?
right,
Anyways.
all right.
Man.
Everybody's blood is hot. I like this, you know. Now let me cool you down real quick. No home for the guys. So anyways, okay. Our last 2 episodes we spoke about weddings, right? And all that stuff. We spoke about how long you could date or how long you've been in a relationship before you get married. A couple questions that I received from my man Azeez over there. Because you've been so silent, my bad. I can't help but let you speak a little bit. A lot of people, and this is up to you. You want to put your business out there. A lot of people said, "Oh man, you're talking holy. You're talking very, I don't want to use the word righteously, but anyways, you're talking. Let's just say you're talking, speaking holy. You're all about God and all that stuff. Okay. Why waste a woman's time for 7 years and not propose to her? Why waste a woman's time for that amount of time and not get married to her? And a follow-up question to the ladies, please think about this while he's answering that. Who in the world said we were wasting your time? Just think about it. I'll go.
Good question. Good question by everybody that asked too. So let me start by saying I wasn't always this guy.
Could we hear him?
Yes.
I wasn't always this guy, right? So it took a lot for me to understand how to do things God's way. And most of the time, I was in my way, doing it my way. If you get what I'm saying, you know what I mean? So 7 years was my mistake. It should have never been 7 years. And it took a lot of pain and a lot of understanding for me to get here. But by His grace, I actually got here.
Amen.
Praise God.
Wow.
Just so you know. Anyways, I don't think
like
you're ready
that.
for another relationship, but you'll be wiped up in this room. But second question, the follow-up question. Sure.
Was she okay with that? Did she understand? How did she react?
That's a good question, right? How many women do you know that would be okay with a 7-year courtship or 8-year courtship, right?
Period.
3 years.
I mean, she's not the type of person that will go out of her way and say things like that. So I'm not really sure, and she's not really the average chick either.
Was she spiritual?
Definitely.
So she probably understood.
I think she understood me, and at some point, she probably understood that we both weren't on the same accord with God. Because if we were doing it His way, we would never have gotten to 8 years and not been married, right?
So in your book, what is an average woman and what's not an average woman?
An average woman is a woman of the world, a woman that doesn't know the ways of the Lord, that doesn't indulge in the Word of God, because she doesn't understand who she is in God's vision. You know what I mean?
Was she always a woman of God, or did she find herself like you wanted?
Always been a woman of God. Actually, she was the one on fire, and I was kind of the one that wasn't. But by His grace again, she's the one that kind of proved me to Christ. And the quote I said last time was actually directly in relation to what we had. I actually had to go through Christ to understand who she really was, because she was so wedded in Christ. So if I didn't get to know Him, I never would get close to her.
So I'm kind of curious, right? Being that you say all of that, which is great. We all don't walk in a straight path. You know what I mean? Life is not that's not life.
Exactly.
Being that life is not as such, if you ask me, and I'm just speaking, saying from outside, I'm not inside. Being that you were this before,
and now you're this. Why kill the relationship if now you're walking in God's path and the path that she wants to see you walk in? Why kill the relationship?
Because we as men are stubborn, and before we got to that place where I was actually walking in God's path, I still wanted to do it my way. And it literally took God saying, listen man, I'm in control of everything, and this gift that I give you, I will take it back. And that's exactly what he did. And when my eyes got open, it was like, wow.
She was tired.
She was tired, and God said, message sent. This is my child, not yours. And if you're not going to respect her, then I'm going to give her a man that will.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
everybody
I like
goes to
that
Azeez
he
talks.
said men are stubborn because he admitted to that. Not
Yeah.
too many men admit to that. So.
I'm stubborn too.
Okay,
Very,
good.
very
So
hard.
you-
People are
I think
stubborn.
all men are
Very
stubborn.
All
hard.
men are
But
stubborn.
not all men admit it.
People are stubborn, not men or women.
Men are stubborn.
Men are more stubborn, but
Men
we'll
are-
just leave
Well,
it
I'm a
at that.
Taurus. I'm naturally stubborn.
I have a question for you.
Damn.
Okay, last question to Azeez. Leave him alone.
Yeah, wow. Holy Ghost.
Woman of God.
I can't even think.
It's okay, it's okay. Take your time.
Blood of Jesus.
Amen.
It's okay.
Hey!
Think pure thoughts.
Oh, yeah,
Pure.
don't be
Pure.
It just got real.
Just let it out. Come on. Time is
Evangelist. Hey,
So,
stop.
okay, so, God is making you to be this man you are. And maybe I didn't get an understanding. Are you saying God made you understand that in this season you guys are not to be together? Or she is not your wife? Because I want to get a clear understanding of what you're saying. Because, you know, there's a difference when God takes you and pulls you and say, you know what, I want you to be this person, and works in you, and you work with God. Because that's what the Bible says in James, that I will draw closer to you if you draw closer to me. But there's a difference if you, there's a difference if you, you know, if God has given you that, you know, has told you, has given you that message like, hey, you and you are not to be together based on, you know, whatever it is. So that's, I want to get that.
Okay, so I'll start by saying this. Any foundation that is not on Christ is sinking sand. So it doesn't matter how long you've been with a person. At some point, God is going to make sure that because it's not of him, it will not work. So she realized that before I did, of course. Because, again, I'm very stubborn. But once she realized it, she began to show signs. And me being the stubborn guy that I was, I thought, this is just a phase type thing, right?
You should get over it.
Exactly. You know, it's one of those things, you know. People go through things in relationships. But it was something that she would always say to me. And she said it to me 3 or 4 different times. And she said, but I don't know you. And when she was saying that, it almost felt like God was saying, my son, I don't know you. And when I got that confirmation, which was at a conference, it was at a Christian conference in the mountains in North Carolina, that God wanted me to pursue him first, I knew that it was something that wasn't going to work without him, and that we were just doing because we thought that this was the right way of doing it. It wasn't of God.
I think religion is a very touchy subject. And I feel like we should be careful the way we speak and how we carry ourselves, because some religions are misleading and a lot of us are definitely an example. But my question is, based on what you're telling me, as far as having that foundation being Christ, so in a nutshell, I'll ask you, so people that are atheists, they don't get married, and their marriages are not successful.
Come on, man. Come on. You're talking.
But
Success is subjective
Definitely.
to start with.
well,
But that's his experience. That's. I think he's more so speak. I definitely hear what you're saying, but I think he's just speaking specifically from his Christian experience, and we have to validate that. But we know that that's not true for all people. So there are atheist couples, there are Muslim couples who have their own foundation, there are Buddhist couples who have their own foundation. So whatever your foundation is, however God chooses to speak to you, that's a very
Yeah.
personal thing.
Yeah.
But that was his experience, and we have to, validate that. But
Correct.
it's
I
not
feel
true
like-
for everybody.
And marriage is based on like core beliefs and like communication.
Mhm.
So if you and I have beliefs that identify the same way, like people that are in same-sex marriages, they both have the same understanding of certain things, and so it works for them. So the religious aspect of marriage is, for you, that's what it is, and you find someone who matches whatever you believe in. Because we can both be Christian and it just won't work. We can both be from the same church and it won't work. So I don't really follow like your question.
I mean, I
let-
kind
oh,
of,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
If
I
someone
kind
can
of get
explain, yeah.
Where
that
it's coming
in the
from.
sense that there is religion and there's spirituality.
Well, everybody keeps talking about religion, and really my point was about relationship, right?
With Christ.
Relationship with Christ.
Exactly.
So
Your relationship with Christ.
my relationship,
His
her relationship, your relationship, whoever's, when it comes to relationship and knowing who Christ really is, right? So, with that being said, in knowing Christ, there is true love, right?
Yes.
If you don't understand who Christ is, how do you understand true love? Second of all, how does a woman submit to her husband if she hasn't submitted to Christ first? How does a man really love a woman if he doesn't even know who Christ is and love Christ wholeheartedly before he's met her?
But that does not mean perfection, though.
It doesn't make perfection, but it does mean that you have an understanding of the God that you serve.
Very
If
true.
we're Christian.
So we're
If
talking
you're
about
Christian.
right.
If you're
Right,
Christian.
I was about to get there.
If you're Christian,
Right?
that's what his
That's what I was
question
saying.
was.
That's exactly what my question
So
was.
if you're not Christian, does that mean that you don't understand what
Exactly.
true love is? If you are not Christian, does that
There we
mean
go.
Not
that you
necessarily.
can't have a foundation in your relationship that is not solid? Does that mean that you don't have an understanding of how to love another being just because you are not a Christian or a spiritual being?
Yeah.
And I don't think that is true.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we have to validate his experience because it's true.
That's
for
your
him.
truth.
Right. So the
And
question
it's-
was: is my God more important than your God, or is there a one God that we all go by, believe, faith, whatever we believe in, like a supreme being?
I mean, obviously,
And
there's-
whatever that
everybody
supreme
doesn't
being
believe in
is.
one
One
God.
God,
Obviously,
right.
everybody has their
Honestly,
high
and
powers
this-
that
and
they.
to, yeah, and to you, your God could be important than the other God.
Yeah.
So there's no.
So I'm not going to
yeah,
say
I
my
can't
God
say
is bigger
that
than yours.
yeah.
I just.
Well, but I know my God is bigger than others.
So the whole reason why I brought it was because we had a lot of questions towards that, and if Suku was here right now, and I've definitely had a similar question to ask him too. But shout out to Sue. Now let's hit part 2 of that question. Now, still going back to the whole 7-year relationship thing. Still going back to the whole 7-year relationship thing. Most women say, "Man, you're not gonna waste my time like that." So, is there a rule book to this? Like, what do you mean by waste your time? I mean, we're in it together.
From my understanding, I don't know everything about it, I know a little. A man marries a woman.
Okay.
So you determine that as a man. You know, and it's amazing. Yes, we are both together in it, but I believe that a man knows what he wants. The only time a woman has some kind of authority in a it's before the relationship where she chooses who she wants to be with. After that, honestly, fortunately or unfortunately, it's a man who determines where that relationship goes.
Okay.
From
Hold on.
again now, it goes back to what governs you, because I know we're in the 21st century, 2019. Women propose to men, I guess.
It's not even. It's
But-
not. Sorry, complete your thought. Sorry.
So to me, I just feel like a man knows what he wants. He's the one who marries me. So I feel like I don't want to be the one who would say you wasted my time, but I'm looking at it from that point of view.
But then, you know what? Hold on, I'll come back to you. What was your thoughts?
Hold on.
No, I was just gonna say I don't feel like it's a 21st century thing. Even in marriage, you are still saying I choose you. Even in engagement,
Correct.
you're still saying I choose you. You are choosing each other. So at no point in the game is it just falling on one person. You still have a choice. And
I mean,
I
until
think
he
it's
goes
important
down
to
on one
remember
knee,
that.
you
Before
won't
you
have
make
that
that
option to
choice.
say, I'm
Yeah,
choosing
choose
you
you.
as well.
Wait, say that again. Until what?
Till he goes down on
On
one
one
knee to
knee.
propose, you don't have that choice to be like, I want you too.
Exactly.
So you can either, are you going to propose to him?
No, but I'm accepting your proposal.
But until he does
that.
until he proposes,
before you accept the proposal, like
you won't be choosing him to be your fiance.
Right. But I can counteract that.
You have to accept him.
But
as
it's
your
not.
husband.
You're not the one proposing to him. You're not the one. Again,
but don't you think you get more power in saying yes?
You do.
You have more power. You are the one saying yes. You are validating that union. That you have to say. If you don't say yes, there's no. There's not.
If he doesn't go down on one knee, I won't have that
power.
Somebody else would do it. What do you?
No, that's okay. That's what I'm saying. And that's when the whole wasting time comes into play.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's why it comes back to what governs you. From scriptures, it says a man shall leave his father and his mother and find his wife, and the two shall become one, and he will find favor with the Lord. And we're going by that. It means a man is the one marrying a woman. You don't make the decision. The only time you make the decision to marry the man is when he has asked you to be his wife. If that makes sense.
I think it's a choice all throughout. I think you're still choosing them, and even in staying
in staying for that long,
even staying in that long, that's a choice.
So yeah,
absolutely.
That is a choice. So that's my.
That is a choice.
So the man is never wasting your time because
you're allowing
him.
You're allowing him.
Exactly.
It's a dual thing.
This is my thing.
Forever. It's
I really don't like that statement of he wasted my time.
Very good.
The reason why I don't like it is because number one, as a woman or whatever, if you're going into a relationship, you should kind of already know what you want and set your standards. If you know that you're going into the relationship to get married, if you're like, hey, I'm dating to get married, if you guys don't have that same mindset, a year has gone by, 2 years have gone by, at that point it's your decision. Either you leave or you stay. If you decide to leave, fine, go ahead and
let's not talk like it's black and white here. Let's not talk like it's
no. But
this
is what I feel the problem is. The thing is that most of the time women stay hoping that it's going to happen.
And why
they'll stay 5 years.
And why is the whole
stay
belt?
6 years.
Why is the whole belt? Because of what the man tells you, right?
Huh?
Why do you?
Yes, it's about what the man tell you. So this is
set standards for yourself.
So yes, if
he doesn't meet it, you leave.
I'm not denying. I think a very disciplined woman who really knows what she wants will set that. It takes pain, it takes prayers, it takes tears. Yes, but in reality,
that's what I'm saying, right? But this is my thing. It's your place to whether or not you're going to set the standard for yourself for how long you're going to stay, how long you're going to do with it.
Correct.
If you don't set that standard and if you don't have the power to be like, I'm getting out of this, if it doesn't work out, do not sit there and say he wasted my time because you sat there with him.
But is that because women want to get married? Because I know a couple that have been together for 19 years.
That's why I said
choosing that.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
That's their decision.
And that's what exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You have to pretty much know what do you want when you're going.
Do you really think this women who stay for 7 years is because they just wanted to?
That's a
Does marriage? Hold on. Does marriage guarantee you that stay?
Hold on. First,
Thank
time
you.
out. Hold on. Time out. Right. The thing that I don't like about this women thing is I'm staying too. I mean it too.
Exactly.
Right. Don't ignore me because I mean it too. It takes two to tango, right?
Exactly.
It's unfortunate too. No, I'm saying.
But the ball is in your court, although you're staying.
Hold on, but can you help him make that decision?
Make what decision?
To propose to you.
But my thing,
help him make one decision.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think
I
personally never heard a man.
Can you help a man get a job?
She wasted my time.
Hold on, let's have one conversation.
But that's because he's not viewing it as such, right?
That's because I'm going off of
what so he's been in this relationship for X amount of years, right?
No, clearly, both of them have been in this relationship.
They both obviously they both have been in this relationship for X amount of years. They clearly there's some sort of relationship or emotion behind this relationship.
Yeah. Good.
In order to keep driving it forward, right? Yeah. Okay. If you wake up one day, well, I don't know what allows somebody to wake up one day after 7 years.
I'm done.
I can't speak to that. But if you wake up one day and decide, you know what, maybe this isn't working out, right? It's not a waste because all those memories just disappear. That feeling just doesn't disappear. That emotion behind it doesn't just disappear. Mm-hmm. There has to be something there. So you can't say that I wasted your time, and neither can you say you wasted my time, because we were in this together. We were building towards something. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that it didn't work out.
Yeah. You know, as a point of maturity, like when you're mature, yes, you said both of you invested. So we all understand the whole. Yeah. You wasted my time. I wasted your time. but I'm just looking at it from a point of reality because there's a difference. It
Can I
takes
ask you a question?
It takes
You
a
are
lot
just
to.
being very sensitive.
Can I ask you a question?
Very sensitive to the situation.
What do you mean by I'm wasting your time? Define
No,
that.
I would not tell. Well, I once said that, unfortunately, but I will not tell a man now at this point of my understanding that you wasted my time. I felt like we both invested.
Wasted time in the sense that, sorry, cut you short, but wasted time in the sense that, you've been with me for X amount of time. Being that you as the man, you're supposed to propose to me. Instead of doing that, you cut it short, and you went your merry way, and you're leaving me here. So for this X amount of times I've been sitting here banking on the fact that you're gonna, propose to me, which that's another one thing. Why expect the whole expectation thing? But anyways, we're gonna talk to that. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like,
that's a real thing.
That's a real thing. Expectation, like you're expecting that just because we've been dating for 7 years.
Are you making these expectations because this is something that someone proposed beforehand? Is this something that he told you to anticipate?
Exactly.
Because if it's something that he told you to anticipate and he didn't follow through with it, then we have a problem.
We have a problem.
Right.
Okay,
We're not that crazy. We don't wake up in the morning.
We
never had a marriage conversation.
Now,
if
she's making assumptions of what the relationship is supposed to be,
guys,
without you making those promises, then okay.
Quick question. So would you guys prefer for me to waste your time, get married to you, and divorce you?
What do you mean?
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Hold on, ask the question. Would you prefer for him to hurry and get married to you and be divorced to you in the next 2-3 years?
What do you mean by hurry?
What will cause him to do?
Because it's all about getting ready.
What's getting ready?
How?
This thing about what's ready.
Let's keep it real, man. Those finances one. That's number one.
Financial versus biological.
You guys always want to finances.
Is it like a fixed amount of money you have to have in your bank account?
I think for men, financially, yes. I don't necessarily think there's a number that's associated.
So if you don't have a number to track it, how do you know that?
But
when you reach it,
because it's one of those things that you just it's just one of those things that
comes to you. So is it that you want to be able to provide constantly without any worry for your? But then my thing is that if you're right now providing for yourself without any worry, and then when two of us come together, that's two incomes
coming together.
Two incomes coming to one. I don't understand the issue.
Finances. So you can be financially stable now, and tomorrow you're not financially.
I think it's subjective to who you're married to.
What do you mean?
What is subjective?
It's so subjective who you're with.
I don't understand.
You can be with a celebrity, you can be with as broke as somebody who is a church rat, but you don't feel man enough to step up to the plate to say, I am the provider.
But you don't have to be. What if she has the money?
Hold on. Let me explain.
No, I hear what
something's going on here. Nhimba, what's going on down there? Nhimba, what's going on?
She's dying?
Nhimba, what's going on down there?
I just like her expression.
She's dying? Because what's going on there?
Ready is subjective. It is so subjective.
Okay, yeah.
Some women will never understand what it means for a man to be ready because you're not a man.
Right. All you guys readiness
is
dependent on finances.
So
there's nothing other that you can
say. Finances.
Majority of all you guys have said is
we never consider. How about being mentally ready? How about being emotionally ready? Everything is money. Everything is money. Money can come and go. Money's not always guaranteed.
And I do have a question. If you guys are talking about this whole Western, and maybe it may not make sense, but please, I'll stand corrected if corrected. If you're talking about wasting time, we're both investing in this, what do you mean by you're trying to get ready by yourself? Maybe I'm not making sense. I don't know if you get my point.
I'm not saying ready by yourself. Essentially,
because I thought two people have to get ready.
Okay, so we're coming together, right?
Correct.
So for a woman, right, that is quote unquote ready, right? She's ready to bear a child. She's ready to be able to support her husband. She's ready to, just be the best wife possible for her significant other, right? Same thing goes for the man. The man wants to be able to provide for his family, and I'm going to get away from this finance thing, right? Please. The man wants to be able to provide for his family, but not only provide for his family, right? Be so spiritually inclined with his family that he has no choice but to go home every day and make sure that he is able to do the things necessary that he wants to do for his family, right? Mm-hmm. Just any man can go out here with a woman and have a baby, right? But it takes a special type of man to, one, take care and nurture that baby with his wife, as well as being able to go and provide, be the hunter, be the protector, be the guider, be someone that is spiritually inclined with his family. It takes a special type of man. And yes, I do agree with that spiritual, and I'm not a Bible person, so or a biblical person. But yes, I do believe that, yes, you do find favor in God when you find a woman who has favor with God. So yes, for that specific example, that's why I'm going to say most men, they're not at that point. They have to, yes, mentally get to a point where they can sit down and say, I am ready to be with this person for this amount of time. It doesn't just take finances. It doesn't just take you being, you know, in a 7-year relationship, so it means that it's time. It takes a lot more than that.
In addition,
and it does, but sorry, it does, but let's get real. Like a lot of you guys, I don't know what it is, but a lot of you guys root the security of your relationship in finances, and that's scary because it feels as though when you do that, God forbid, you get married and now you lose your job. Your ego, your whole everything that you tied the security of your relationship to falls apart.
Okay, hold on.
What do you have to hold on to?
But you also know that
they do that because of that's how they were raised. That's what they saw their dads.
It's not even that.
It's
not
a cultural thing.
Because of some of the women.
It's some of the women too.
There are a lot of poor, happy couples that are married and they're fine.
I need you guys to understand that you guys are not the only one. Because I love the fact that, and I applaud you for saying that. And I'm never gonna take that. I'm not a man. I don't understand the part of readiness. But I also want you to understand that it also takes a special woman to raise to support a man.
Period.
So it's not easy to be. We all talk about being a Proverbs 31 woman, but I just got up a relationship too, and I saw that I was nothing close to being a Proverbs 31 woman. So it also takes a lot to get ready. Where your husband can do something, you just smile and say, "God bless you,"
Lord, that grace.
Or he does something that is crazy, and he still cook for him. So it takes a lot to get to that point of readiness, and you will never be ready until God makes you ready, and it's a continuous process until you die.
So this is my thing when it comes to this whole like readiness situation. Yes, a lot of men tend to equate it on money, but I think relationship and marriage, those are two completely different things. You know what I'm saying? Like a relationship, marriage is more of like this is a lifelong commitment, and I would pray that nobody's getting to a marriage with the mindset like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to divorce. When you're going into a marriage, you should want to be like, I'm going to make this work no matter what. If I feel like with men, outside of the whole like financial thing, it comes with the whole mental thing too. A man really has to get to that place where he feels like, listen, this is something that I'm going to stay in there no matter what. And honestly speaking, if a man is not at that space where he has that mentality, I would rather you not even do it than for you to come than for us to get married and then we're having arguments, we're having fight, and because at that point it doesn't matter to you don't care.
And Vanessa, I'll also tell you that it takes a lot to be mentally ready as a woman to be a wife.
That's true, but again, this is my opinion. That's true, but this is my opinion because I feel like us women we tend to be a bit more ready for those type of things. Yeah, like with women,
African women.
Yeah,
we're
groomed. It's and
from
that's
birth.
Especially that's kind of how we're raised, and
What are we talking about? Because when we say readiness, right? Because we're looking at marriage, it's far from cooking and cleaning. No?
Right, definitely.
So maybe
So this is what I'm saying. It really depends on what your beliefs are. Okay, now the kind of woman that I am. I have a lot of my friends who are just like, you are absolutely out of your mind. But it's something that I like to, I'm the one who's cooking, cleaning, doing everything. Even when we're in a relationship, not even married, right? I have friends who look at it, they're like, you're crazy. Other women, they don't even do those stuff like that. So it's subjective. If you feel like you're ready because your man can do something completely disrespectful and you'll sit there and say, God bless you. Or if your man will like make you super, super mad and you'll still like cook for him like you said earlier, that's your belief. Now, if you feel like you're at that place, that's completely like, that's great. Like, I really applaud you for that. But if a man doesn't feel like he's at that place, whatever his beliefs are for him to be ready, please don't do it. Because when the ground starts shaking, marriage is not a walk in the park. Things are going to happen. like regardless of however you try to avoid it, things are going to happen. And it's your beliefs that's going to make you at the end of the day be like, okay, why are we here? If a man doesn't have that mentality, trust and believe me, that's what starts making men stray and act up and all these other things. So that's my thing.
Again, you made a statement that there's a difference between relationship and marriage. Why did you say that?
Because a relationship, like, I don't think, how can I explain it?
You can get out easier in a relationship.
Yes.
You can't get out easier in a marriage.
Pretty much.
Wait,
expectations
of marriage.
How do you get to marriage? How do you get
marriage?
To marriage?
When I say a relationship and a marriage are different, right? A relationship, you guys are getting to know each other. He's courting you. You know, shut up. you guys are gonna leave. I've known people who've been together for 10 years. Stop it. So a relationship, you know, at the end of the day, if a relationship does not work, you know, you have the opportunity to be like, listen, this is not working, blah, 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 blah. Once you're in a marriage, if you guys go there and you stand at the altar and you make a commitment to God, like a marriage is, we are committing to God for better, for worse, in sickness and health, in rich and poor. Now, if I'm sitting there making that commitment with you, I want both of us to be at that mindset, like, no matter what, we're here. You see what I'm saying? So if there's a situation to where, like, my husband, for whatever reason, gets broke, most women, or some women are dipping. But if, you know, especially in a relationship, like, if in a relationship, your boyfriend becomes broke, you're just like, man,
that's why I signed that prenup first.
This is where I'm really confused. And maybe I just have maybe weird way of thinking. Because to me, it's like, before I get into marriage, you have to have a relationship. Yeah. And how do you cultivate that character of having integrity for that man and standing for him? Because a man sees certain things in you that makes him decide that he will marry you. So I don't see so much of maybe my head.
That's dating is a new age thing too. You have to realize that.
Yeah, obviously.
Like people, this whole dating thing. This is
because I'm
new
so
age.
confused.
People just used to get married. You see, your family likes this family. Boom. That's it. So dating is new. So yes, obviously, courtship, dating should be the preparation for what should be marriage. Understandably. So I personally believe if you're not ready to get married, don't date.
Exactly.
Don't court. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. Time out. Isn't dating different from being in a relationship?
What?
Yes.
Oh, you mean like casual dating? So that word gets confusing too. So yeah, if you're just like going on casual dates, if you're just like going on casual dates, like whatever, you're having your fun. But like if you're in a boyfriend girlfriend should be the preparation for marriage, essentially.
And we can say that. We can say if you're not ready to get married, don't get in a relationship. Period. Who's really gonna listen to that?
Well,
I mean, just some people.
Some people don't want to get married, so you can.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you don't care about marriage, then do whatever you want.
Can we give this guy a chance to talk, please? He's been silent. He has a lot to say.
Alright, so before I continue, the 7-year joke, is that like the inside joke on me?
No.
Y'all lying, man. Y'all lying.
No.
Y'all lying.
It's not necessarily towards you.
It's just a good example.
It's a good example.
It's
a learning experience for all of us.
The thing is, because...
Wait, y'all mean to tell me y'all know people who've been in a relationship for more than 5 years?
I know people.
No, definitely.
Because it's been highlighted, right? Because it's been highlighted, and it's just stuck in our brains. Like, well, for me, it's stuck in my brain. So 7 is that number I go to.
Okay, let's say 5, guys.
Let's say 5.
Let's say 10.
Let's say 10.
19.
10 is too long.
I know people.
10 is too long for you.
If she's not here to speak for herself.
Well, say your truth, though.
A lot of the things, I'm sure she would have an opinion on as well. So
Oh,
I don't want to disrespect
Right.
Absolutely.
what she brought to the table and what was either. You know
Boy, no love.
So if it is a joke, direct the jokes at me, but not at her.
It's definitely
Alright, next subject.
Okay, next subject.
Next subject.
Hold on, that's all he had to say.
No.
Barack, man.
Go ahead.
In relation to what you guys were just talking about, I actually sided with the women.
Well, we are talking about.
Everyone.
Thank you so much.
Wait, let's hear the guy.
Thank you.
Wasting time, one, definitely. And just the whole relationship and courting and everything else, and then men and everything that was just said, right? So I have 2 sisters, and I'm actually terrified about who they're going to bring home. Because honestly, all I see today is bad acting from men.
Hello.
Since they don't know how to be men.
Oh yes.
And I know what that looks like because I was once that guy.
Come on.
So it's like
Lord.
women. Somebody said it earlier.
I'm gonna jail you.
Continue. Somebody said it earlier, but they didn't say it the way it was supposed to be said. Women are way more mature than men in 2019.
Thank you.
And the reason why men see finances as the end-all tell-all is because they're not mature enough to see anything else. So the first thing that the man goes to is, but I make this money, so that makes me a man. No, it doesn't.
Thank you, brother.
In all of that, right?
I can't.
Let me ask you a question. When?
Is it done?
When? We have a constructive conversation. When has women never been smarter than men?
You said, come again. What's your question?
When
have women never been smarter than men? When?
But he talks about
never.
Wait. Let me answer.
When have women never been
Oh, maybe
smarter
because
than
he said in 2019.
In 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, 20. Okay.
You just mean in general.
In general.
Yeah.
And they got
Let's say, so let me say this. I really was going to
It's a
say
lie.
I was really going to
It's
say
a lie.
Tell you something.
The commandment was given to Adam, not Eve, actually.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
If we're being honest.
Where was?
I consider myself a businessman, and my endeavors in business have all shown that working with women is way more fruitful than working with men.
Absolutely, I
Men
can
are
testify.
always worried
Come on.
about all the wrong
Come on,
things,
somebody.
and women
Ego.
Come
get
on.
directly to the point, and they actually get things done.
Ah.
And man, stop
Okay,
smiling.
answer your
Thank
question.
you.
They've kind of always been more mature.
Come on.
No, we have to clap this guy. Clap this guy. I agree. I agree.
I agree with
I agree.
almost everything you said except the first part.